take it anymore. Where was I? Hey guys, back with a silly, stupid little project. It's all leading to is the Smithy lathe. When I changed over to a DC motor, I stopped using the original pulley because the first motor I had such a wide RPM range that I really didn't need the higher speeds. But with the beefier motor on it that turns half as fast, I'm finding that with the mill I do need to get the head up a little faster, so I want to reinstall the original pulley. And it has two issues with it. The first one being, when I first used it on the new motor, I bored out the bore for the slightly larger shaft. I think it was a 3/4 shaft. And now I got to put it back onto a 5/8 shaft motor. So I need to make a spacer or a sleeve or something for that. The next issue is, sometime being moved around the shop numerous times, it broke off a little piece from the inner pulley, which is unfortunately the one that's used for all the low speed gearing. If you're familiar with a Smithy, it's a 3-pulley setup. You'll have this one on the motor and an intermediate pulley which will take this take this high speed and slow it down in the middle, and then you usually use the 3 speeds on the spindle pulley. When you want to go high speed, you use a larger belt and not use the middle pulley, and you need these outer rings. But the important one is this the small groove in the back, and a little piece of it broke off. So I'm looking at repairing that. So I guess I have a couple of options. Now, I've been doing a little looking up on it, and I only have one of these crappy little Victor Portapack torches, and I'm not going to have a whole lot of gas to work on this. So it's preheating this as good as I can, and maybe try silver soldering it. From what I've seen, silver solder I haven't gotten a clear answer on, but I would think that it would wick better into the original brake, because it doesn't have to be a high strength repair, it just has to hold the pulley or the belt on the pulley. The other thing would be to use, I got a piece of copper here, I can clamp that to it and maybe pull some bronze in there, or maybe freehand some bronze and just make up that small area. And then after that, well, we don't want to use JB weld or anything like that. So it's an experiment. It's an attempt. If I have to, I'll go buy another bloody pulley, as much as I don't want to, because it shouldn't have been broken in the first place. But my fault, mea culpa. So I think I'm going to try the silver solder first, just to see if it hangs on. Heck, I could probably use super glue, but nah, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to try the silver solder first. That doesn't work. Knock the piece off, grind it out, and build it up with bronze. And I guess I have my choice. I can probably use silicon bronze or standard yellow bronze. And I have both, and I'm just going to keep at this until I have a pulley I can use. So, on with the fun. So I've got the pulley clamped loosely in the vise, and here's my little, whoops, crap. Oh. Okay, I found it. The gremlins didn't get to it before I picked it up. So my initial thing is, do I want to keep the jaggies on there or not? I'm thinking maybe it would provide something to cling to. The other thought, and something I read, said something about free graphite granules flopping around, and I really don't know what this crap is made out of. It's Chinese cast iron. So we'll see how it wets. If it wets, I'll tin it, and then I'll see if I can get this little piece to stick on top. I'll leave the jaggies to give it some kind of mechanical holding. If it doesn't work, we'll grind it and start again. This is all just farting around, because no matter what you read or what you see, you really don't understand it until you do it yourself. So, turn on the gas and start making a mess. Get the stuff ready. Got silver solder using well, I think it's the good stuff. This is a roll I've had forever, and it's the 50-something% or whatever it is. It's not the 45, it's the one above it. And I know it's expensive as hell now, which is why I don't really want to go out and get any more. So We'll use what we can of that. So we'll have that handy, get the flux ready to go. It's paste flux. I have some liquid flux, but it goes to that Harris, the rinky-dink silver solder, the step above the crap you find at the home center, or the stuff under OD silver solder. This actually has some silver content in it, but it really is more of a soft solder. And I'm going to try for a little more strength than that. So, here we go. If I want to put something soft underneath this, so when it drops out of the vise, it will have a sporting chance of surviving. I'm getting a dull red now on the edges. Not wetting. Alright, so I'm going to stop that failed experiment right now. That's not wetting for crap, whether it be the flux, my technique, what have you. Gotta move on. Alright, hopefully I don't shoot this sucker across the room right into my leg. Back to the fun. trick is not to remelt the part you're adding on so it all dribbles out. It's kind of a tedious second part. Kind of funny that I was watching another channel, Arduino versus Evil, and he mentioned how the stuff smells like vanilla. And I never noticed it until he mentioned it. Now it does. Yeah, too dark for the goggles and too bright for eyeballs. I'd rather put too much on and machine it off than have to go and heat this thing back up and start all over. So I'm putting more than I need. It's kind of hard to judge on a round surface. That's about got it. Make sure I got enough meat inside to make the belt raise. And that is kind of flowed nicely. Probably the area that I didn't grind away. So it must be over it. Okay, do a little finished blending here. Probably a no-no. 3 rods to do 1 rod worth of work. They just all dribbled down on me. These are going good to this point. I think sometimes you just got to stop and see what you got. Now I don't know if you can see that, but I use kind of a weird technique, and I don't know if there's a name for it or where I picked it up. But normally you don't want to have the rod in the flame too much because you're heating up the rod rather than the base metal, and you want the base metal to heat and flow the rod. But when you're building up, you don't want to put too much heat back on your new base metal. Otherwise it's going to just turn into a puddle and go blopping off like it started doing. So I've been using the rod itself as sort of a mask or an umbrella. And I keep jabbing it into areas I don't want to heat up too much on the base metal, if that makes any sense. I sort of put it in the way of the flame, so I get the the rod preheated, and then as I move the rod in and out, it kind of regulates the heat going into the area I'm building up. And then when it starts flowing, I can jab it in there and sort of steer it around, and it looks kind of homogeneous. Of course, you can't tell the flux, and now my eyes are all dazzled. But I'm going to let that cool down on its own here, and it's kind of messy on the inside of that groove, but we'll see what happens. I said if I have to, I'll buy a new pulley. One of the good parts is it didn't drop out of the, oh, you can't see me, can you? That's probably good, but what's the point? Still sick. Oh, might have been bacon that I had in the refrigerator for like 8 months. Scrape the hair off, it's supposed to be good. So I built up and made a big mess. Let me bring in closer so you can see how messy it is. I was getting kind of worried about the groove there, having enough. I didn't want it, because that's really the important surface, is the groove. Because you want the belt to have a smooth surface to slide on, and if there's any voids or missing bits there, it's gonna chew the belt up. So that's the important part. The next important part is, well, the outer diameter to keep everything nice and even and the belt from wanting to jump. And the outside, well, right there I could really give a crap, but we'll face that off anyway. So that's the first bit, and that kind of precludes any idea of welding metal inside that bore to make up the difference that I ground out earlier, because I'll just be melting all this and it'll go away and I'll have to start over. So I'll probably bore it out a little bit more, make a steel or a brass sleeve or something that will act as an adapter. Well, I'm kind of curious how this is going to turn out, but it's kind of hot to be standing here next to it, so we're going to back away and go find something else to play with.